I was just watching a video from Alex Ramosi. I look up to that guy a lot. I think he's a genius. Like, he really is a genius. But his video was about if you should go to college, and it was like a long video. But I always watch his long videos. But I'm already in college, so I kind of watched it for no reason. But I'm glad that I did, because it kind of made me like look at the way I went to college, and the way he explained it, I went for the right reasons, and I kind of went through force. But I always kind of knew that it was the right decision for me. Not even that because I wanted a job, but it was just logical for me to go, right? And essentially, it was like, for a little bit of backstory, right? I remember in fifth grade, I said that I wanted to go to MIT, right? Because it was a technology school. I was obsessed with technology and hacking and all that. And then I saw the tuition, and I was like, is that per semester or per year or for the whole thing? And they're like, oh, this is per year tuition. It was like 60,000 or something like that. And I was like, what the fuck? You want me to pay $240,000 to go to college? Get out of here. And ever since sixth grade, I was like, I'm never paying for college. Like, I'm never paying out of pocket for tuition or nothing like that, right? And like if it's like that high, because I know I'd go into debt and I would take out like I didn't say I was gonna not pay for college. I said I was never gonna take out loans or pay excessive amounts of tuition, because that makes no sense to me, right? Just the numbers itself made no sense. And I was in fifth grade, so I was like, that just sounds stupid. Right? Why would I pay to go to school, whatever, right? And as I grew up, I understood why that concept was a little bit wrong, but it's still valid. And I was like, for this reason, right? So once I finished high school, I was like, I'm gonna go to college. I got into like all the ones I applied to that were like, I knew that I was gonna get like free aid or whatever, financial aid, and then it was gonna allow me to go for free. And that was the only way I was gonna go, right? So I picked the best free school I could go to, because if you're gonna pay for school, it might as well be the top of the line Ivy League schools that will get you the best networks and the best jobs and will always make you stand out, like Harvard and Yale and stuff. But if you're not getting into those, it doesn't really matter what college you get into. It's just another college name. That's how I see it, right? And so I went to the best, not the best, but like I personally think it's the best school in New York that's free, and because New York colleges aren't really that great, and it's just CUNYs, so it's free. And so I essentially got paid to go to school, right? Because of how much financial aid I got. So it worked out for me. Like I literally got paid, like I got more of a refund than I had to pay for school. And so he literally talked about in the video, if you get paid to go to school, you have all the upside and none the downside, because you get all the, now you have the certification, the education, the network and everything, but you didn't have to pay for it. And paying for it is like the worst part, because you're going into debt. So I have no debt at all. I'm getting a certificate, a degree, and I can go. And the job that I'm studying finance. So if you're going to go to college, it should be for a formal white collar role. Lawyers, doctors, accountants, finance, things that are like actually like worth working in, because you'll get a good sum. Like if you're going to school and you're studying like philosophy, what the hell are you talking about? Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, what job are you gonna get in that industry? Or if you're like studying art, like, come on, you could have took 6 months off after high school and just thought, okay, if you're gonna go to college after high school or during high school, think, what job do I care more about, my job, or do I care about how much I'm gonna get paid? Because if I were to pick a job like a teacher and get paid 40, 50,000 for the rest of my life, I don't care how happy I am doing teaching. I'm not doing that job because it's not making me enough money. It just doesn't make no sense. I'd rather do something that, like for me personally, I knew I liked math and I knew I liked numbers and money. So I went into finance because I know there's a lot of jobs in finance and it pays well. So look for industries that have lots of jobs, ones that you won't mind doing and that you probably will be good at, and that they pay you enough. If they don't pay you enough, you're gonna be miserable either way. People are like, oh, but I love teaching, but it's like, yeah, but at the end of every week and you get that paycheck, you're miserable. So you're miserable one way or another, and you have debt. So it's like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't care. Like, you can find passion in, like, you can find a random job that you just happen to get into, and you might just over time like it. Maybe you like the environment, maybe you like the work, whatever. But you can build passion, but you can never get more money in capped salaried jobs. But that's just how I see it. Maybe it's a little extreme, but I think that's a smarter way to see it, because you're essentially going to college to get a job, and if you're gonna get a job, you're doing it for money. So why are you? I don't know, whatever, right? Nonetheless, right? I knew I wasn't gonna pay for college. I got all the upside, none the downside, which he explained. And the only problem is, if you are gonna go to school, make sure you prioritize networking. I didn't do that at all. I didn't go to any clubs. I didn't go to any meetings, none of that. So that's my fault. But I also did school online for like 3 years. So like six of my 8 semesters, maybe even 7, because I only go in for like one class and I'd come home. Only one semester was in person. That was like my worst semester. But if you're gonna go to school in person and you're gonna get all upside, make sure you prioritize networking, because he talks about in the video that like one of the number one things that determine how much income you're gonna make is your zip code. And so when you switch your zip code to technically what college you go to, you're surrounding yourself with the different people who have different net worths and the amount of money, the incomes based on like where you came from. So if you came from like a poor neighborhood and you go to like a relatively nice college, now your zip code and the amount of average income around you is different. So then you start thinking like them, you want to make money like them, and it changes. Like, it's an interesting concept. I guess he found it in some study or whatever, but you need to prioritize networking. I understand how important it is now, because if you look into the job market, it is so hard to actually get a job. These people literally just hire their friends, and if they do that, and if you know that they only hire their friends, you might as well become friends with random people, and maybe one day you can help someone get a job, but they can help you, and that's just the way the market works now. And so yeah, the only reason, if you're gonna go to college, like I just said, know what industry you're gonna work in, know how much you want to get paid. And there's some people who will willingly go to out-of-state college, which is a more enjoyable experience. It's more fun because you have the idea of like drinking, partying, and girls, which is just those 3 alone will get most guys to go to college, go into debt and everything. It wasn't enough for me. I didn't care enough to party. I think I also have a negative association with partying now, because I always knew that it wasn't worth going into debt to party and have fun with these girls and drinking all that. So I have a negative association with partying and drinking, because I don't really care for that. Girls is whatever, right? But I don't do that. But if you are essentially going to school out of state for those 3 reasons, first of all, you're a mess. Second, even if you do those things, you're still going there paying for your education. So if you end up flunking out or having bad grades, after those 4 years, you're gonna wonder why you have no job and you're in debt. So really have your priorities straight, instead of just jumping into college for like the wrong reason because you just want to have some fun. Like, you can have fun for the rest of your life. You can go to Vegas, you can go to Cali, you can party essentially anywhere, you can drink at any time. Don't go primarily for the reason of having fun when you know you're there for a reason. Like, I see this all the time. People have such little reason and intention for doing things, and it makes no sense. Like, where is your logic? Like, I see some people go to the gym and then they're on their phone on a machine or in the middle of the field just sitting there. It's like, you couldn't have been on your phone at home, like while you're here and you have access to all this equipment and other people who might know more than you about the gym. You have all this cardio equipment. Do something. If you're gonna go on your phone, at least be on the cardio machine doing it. Like, I hate when people just sit. Like, you could have just did that. If you could have did it at home, why are you doing it here? Like, it makes no sense to me. It's the same thing with college. You could have went, drank, had fun with girls, and did all that at like local clubs and bars and shit, or in some other state, whatever the case may be. Why are you prioritizing going to college and going into debt for that? So you need to have your priorities straight. Go to college if it makes sense for you. If you're not gonna go crazy into debt, and if you're gonna have all the upside, like you're gonna get a white form, you're open to the idea of having a white collar job, or you like your degree, or whatever the case may be. You just make sure you're going to college for the right reasons. Make sure you're choosing the right fields. Make sure you're not going into debt. And the only reason really not to go to college is if you have a strong business plan and you know you're going to do business for the rest of your life, and that you'll be like okay with having months and years of not making that much income or whatever, and you don't want to have it. Like, I want to do business for the rest of my life, but I want to have the security and backup of having my college degree. And if I can get a college degree and get a job and then take that experience and then take it into my own business, that's even better for me. But because now I'm not taking as much risk going in with very little knowledge and skill. So that's like the best way to do it. Like, anything that you want to learn, go get a job in that field, learn some stuff, get some skills, and take it on your own and do it smaller scale starting, and then you can scale it up. But he talks about the only people that don't really need to go to college are people who already come from wealthy families and already are in a good zip code and have a good network, and they know why they want to do business and they have a good idea and they have the capital and all of that. But other than that, most of the time I think the whole school system is kind of ass, but you still need to go just for the certification of being able to get a good job. But if you're not gonna, like he literally talked about that, if you're gonna choose the wrong degree, you're gonna end up in HR, which I literally seen a lot of people do, and it makes sense. So it's like, go in with intention, do it for the right reasons, and your future you will thank you.